I mean, trying to emulate, because at the end of the day, when you have best practices out there, what the best you can do is emulate and then see how you can improve on
Right.
that, right? Um, Obviously, the jersey sales I mentioned with the Super Eagles was better in the UK. The sales were huge in the UK than it was in Nigeria itself. There are a number of reasons, and obviously we still have a very low footprint in terms of what we call, like your Nikes and Adidas, sportswear companies,
I
and
guess what I'm curious is like what is done differently. Let's say if you're gonna like compare it with whatever you want to call it, advanced
what
markets or established markets.
what is not done right at this stage, because obviously these outfits I mentioned have quite a ways to go to measure up to. You mentioned
Right.
Barcelona. Barcelona is one of those at the top of the heap in terms of their global ability to connect with their fans and get them hooked on to whatever it is they're trying to sell or put out there. Whilst we still have a lot of these teams that we're talking about, they're just what's going on currently is typically just organic in my estimation. It's just fans who are hungry to want to be part of something, who are pushing the envelope. Not so much so the teams in this case. So I think the teams have to understand that it is their job to embrace this and know that this is huge opportunities for them to grow their revenue and then and see how they can create outlets and generate to create income streams for themselves through memorabilia sales and so much more with when it comes to fan engagement. So, like I said, I think it's typically organic at this stage, and it's not so much what's done right; it's so much so what's yet to be done and how much they can improve on what could be of value to them, in the long term. So, quite a ways to go. Like I said, with the Super Eagles, Nigeria has over 210 million people as a nation,
Yeah.
a very vast diaspora that's out there in the UK, in the US. So if you put a product out for the Super Eagles in the US and in the UK, you have huge sales. Now, the issue with sales locally in Nigeria, you still have issues of transparency, accountability that will have to be contended with. But obviously, there's opportunities, and like I say, you have the outlets to which some of these companies can create relationships to sell, merchandise out there, which could help grow like I say, their bottom line. So huge opportunities out there. Nigeria, for one, has Jumia and Konga, which operate in the country, and so there are possibilities out there for them. And you have other nations like the Atlas Lions of Morocco, who did very well in this past World Cup, the first African nation to ever reach the semifinals.
Right.
So there's huge opportunity for them, and I think they even have a better infrastructure up there in North Africa than most of the other countries in sub-Saharan Africa, save for South Africa in this case. So, but most countries in sub-Saharan Africa have to improve on their infrastructure in terms of business-to-business relationship and business-to-consumer relationship, so they can capitalize on these opportunities.